All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the detailed cast for day 14 of our Nerf Surf and Turf extravaganza. So I've decided to start here with the morale map so that you can get an idea of where the conflicts are on this map and potentially where some of the failures of morale are starting to show up. So from earlier this game, Power of Us has continued to have a morale issue. He's been the only red country on the map over on this side for a while. You can see a little bit of orange up here, right around Orange Pit. What happened here is southern United States attacked in, conquered, and gave it to Spain in a devious little underhanded act. I'm not sure if central or southern captured this territory adjacent or not, but what's happening here is the war has been joined for real. And really, to me, what's happening here that's the most dangerous and potentially threatening is that it does look like, unfortunately, these cruisers are just unanswered. They're just going to make mincemeat of anything that United States has to throw at them. And I've been in this position where you just have nothing on the shore. The United States did have a cannon, and they lost it. And that was a devastating hit. It does look like, no, this is Canada's cannon. Canada. Yeah, it's just not looking good. And North Canada's moving down. We do have a pincer sort of thing that's happening here. So even though I did worry about Power of Us here being low morale, I think in large part he was low morale because he was that border territory that was constantly being sort of threatened, potentially attacked. I'm not sure exactly. I wasn't in all the messaging that went back and forth. I saw some of that. I've been poking my nose in and out of the chats there. But I will say at this point, things are looking good for the northern team up here. And it's really, I would say, almost entirely because of the cruisers, those pivotal cruisers. And we knew those cruisers were going to be really, really important early in the game here. And sure enough, they are. And then, of course, Canada coming down with one of the first planes in the region. And is there going to be an airfield there? Yes, there is already an airfield that he can operate out of. So he will be able to, he's got his just run of the map. So, wow. We now have a fighter and 3 cruisers that will be able to run circles around anything that the United States has to offer. What does the United States have to offer? I'm not sure who the naval power is. Here we go. It's the South. So Southern needs to get a little bit more going there in terms of sea power. For now, I don't know what else to say on that front other than that it has become live. Now, back over we go. Let's go ahead and move back over. We've been able to kind of see the hot spots. We already knew, for instance, that all of Central and Eastern Europe was going to be red. We saw what was happening down here with the Ottomans. And then we also saw that Romania was coming down to attack in, as well as West Libya was coming up to attack as well. So a lot of darker colors up here, darker red colors. And then, of course, the rest of the Ottoman just turning because that guy has gone AFK, I'm pretty sure, for a while now. One thing that was kind of unexpected here is we do see that, unfortunately, France is starting to suffer some morale. I don't really know why that would be. I do know France is just sitting on huge numbers of troops with very, very little on the other side to oppose them, unless there's some kind of treaty. Maybe France has, France, Spain, and Italy have a treaty. I don't know with Finland. I really don't know. But what I do know is that with everybody so thinly stretched over here, I think France could take all of Central Europe. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, all of it. He has so many troops here. Now, maybe I would try to work something out with Britain. But then Britain is tied, there's so many. Here's what I kind of love is that one of the things about World War I, if anybody studied their history, is that the reason the entire war got pulled into this devastating, terrible war was all of the interlocking treaties and alliances that were at play in this game. And this is kind of what's happening here because, I feel like there are layers of alliances happening here. We've got, Raya Force. What's happening here? Okay, Raya Force Um, let's see, Caucasus, yes. So I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around who are Raya forces. I believe it's Raya Force and Hemland. Where is their third? Is that Swedish Viking? Okay, so yeah, I'm just kind of. It's weird in this color. Got to get rid of this color. Um, we've seen enough there to kind of understand what's going on. I'm going to bring it black, bring it back to multicolored mode so we can kind of see individual countries and what's going on with them. So a lot is going on. So it's very important that we kind of look at what's happening here. We do have a more or less stagnated game down here with the Libby brothers actually literally forming a yin yang sign out of their countries. And I think maintaining stability here, it looks like maintaining stability with this group over here. So we finally have some stability in the Middle East, which I think has led Benaya to attack up into the Ottoman provinces. Now, in our last detailed video, we saw what was happening. And what was happening, unfortunately, was that all of the Ottoman were responding. And I think it was AI, but I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure that it was AI. It could still have been the guy operating in the background, but I think he probably went AFK after his capital got attacked. But, you know, people can be drawn back in through the Discord. People can reach out and say, hey, dude, can you come back and, you know, defend your territories or something? But what definitely happened was that we saw it happening in real time during the last video, is that Benaya got swarmed. He got absolutely swarmed by a lot of troops down there. Now, this is surprising to see 7 cruisers, 8 cruisers, this early in the game from one country. On the other hand, Caucasus has had a lot of territory. Caucasus, as we recall, has had basically 2 countries worth of territory for a long time and has expanded further north into Europe, Eastern Europe as well. So when you see these larger fleets, you have to keep in mind, how long has he had extra land? That all matters in terms of resources, whatnot. Now, we also see Caucasus has 2 cannon, 2 artillery, and this is just a lot. When we're talking 8 cruisers and 2 cannon, that is a lot of material. Make that, yeah, 4 cannon. Let's see, 2 more here. 4 cannon and 6 cruisers. That's just a lot of material. Yeah, man. Caucasus is continuing to be sort of a dominant power here. And really, with Benaya being beaten off of, God damn it. Yeah, he just got beat off the shores of, sometimes, as he got thrown back from the shores of the Ottoman steppes here, that really hurt Benaya's game. And I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do to recover that, other than, who is this over here? Egypt. Okay, so Egypt is Silver Star. I know from previous games, Silver Star is a defensive player. But Egypt has 5, count them, 5 cruisers here. That is a pivotal fleet to be sitting here in a canal. But again, I've seen that before from Silver Star. He plays defensively. Now, sometimes that turns out to be a really good thing when he can unleash that sort of bottled power at a later point in the game when everybody else is weakened. That could be a really good thing. So let's keep our eye on what's happening here. The problem is Caucasus are not becoming weaker. Caucasus are taking more and more territory all the time. I'm sorry, Romania. What? No, hold on. So I'm getting, Romania. So this is Caucasus. I'm sorry. And then I was conflating that with Romania. Apologies, folks. Romania is a land person. God, I'm an idiot. So that's actually really good news, because I was like, I don't know how he's got this many cruisers and this many artillery. And that's just, we can chalk that up to the fact that I'm an idiot. So sorry about that. What we're looking at here, of course, is Caucasus. Caucasus is all the way up here. Caucasus being, here we go, Raya Force. So Raya Force, and that makes a lot of sense now. Okay, now that we can finally freaking get our act together here, we have a lot of building materials over here. We have double wood, double iron, another wood over here, and an oil. That's a precious oil over there. So yeah, okay, making lots of sense. And ooh, got a double fish over here. Very nice. And oh man, level 3 factory with a harbor. So I think Caucasus are going to continue to churn out boats over here. And that is bad news for Benaya or anybody else who's trying to push up into this region. I'm surprised, but I haven't seen a big push down into the Ottoman regions from Caucasus, although that appears to be happening right now. Okay, so very interesting stuff going on here. I'm not sure all the details, but what we do know is we have Arabia from way down here, coming all the way up here and making a land grab. And I'm proud of him. I think Arabia should have been taking a lot of these territories away from his former ally earlier on. So some good initiative down here. Took a double wood right up from underneath these larger powers, Romania and Caucasus there. So good for you, Arabia. Like seeing that. Good for you, buddy. I'd say send even more stuff up there. Screw these people. Arabia. Arabia has the first mixed air force that I know of on the board. Now, Arabia hasn't engaged very much in hardly anything. In fact, he's lost his partners halfway, lost Greece like almost immediately, then lost the Ottomans as soon as the Ottomans lost his cap there. So he's been back there just sort of hoarding and growing little by little. Very interesting stuff going on over there. All right, so it looks to me like Finland is resolving very strong up here with their ally up here, I think putting pressure on Russia enough to the point where I guess Russia just doesn't feel like he can push westward here into this thinly held stuff over here. But again, just the idea of this threat from the north, I guess, is enough to keep Russia down here. See, this is enough to protect this border right here. And this is enough, but close to not enough to protect this border. But a lot of this isn't needed here. You could keep this here. I'd probably keep the cars up here where they can move defensively. I would want to have maybe 50 guys down here and to start pushing west here. We see a lot of timid play on the map right now, and a lot of that's because nobody knows what's in those forts, and nobody has the God vision that we have, of course, from afar. So, but what's really interesting here is in Europe. So we have one more territory here for Lithuania. Lithuania has consolidated all of their power here, and this is what you expect somebody to do. This is what I would have expected out of Greece. This is what you expect somebody who's pissed off, they're leaving the game, they'll consolidate onto one territory, and then they'll just stay there. They typically don't just leave, toodaloo, and then off to an island somewhere. So that's what's happening here. Lithuania is making a stand. You can see that Finland is coming in with 3 artillery. That should be enough, especially if Lithuania has gone AFK here. It may be that Lithuania will have a few days of just raining in death, but it's a great situation. This is one of those neat things where the cannon just stays right here, rains down hellfire, and the only way you can get to him is through a fort and over. So good positioning for Lithuania there. It looks like that will be the end of great positioning by Finland there. That looks like that will be the end of Lithuania. So again, if we look at the pink here in Europe, we just have to say Finland is basically kind of dominating in terms of territory taken. So let's just take a look here. Great Britain. Oh, Page. All right. Romania. We've talked about Romania having those early holdings. Sweden. Sweden also has some strong growth as well. And so it looks like what appears to be a huge growth here is lightly held, low morale territory, so it's not showing up over here in the points, and that's not surprising at all. What Finland needs to do is hold on to it. Now, who's over here with Finland? Great Britain. So it appears that Great Britain has made some sort of cooperative alliance. Great Britain turning out to be a diplomatic, highly skilled diplomatic player. A lot of territory seized in here. I believe that was sort of maybe left over from the previous alliance with Poland. That was Doc over here, I believe. So Britain played it well, but it is also lightly held. Just everything in Europe is so lightly held. It just makes me think about some of these larger, if you look over here at what's going on here with, we talked about this last time, Ukraine. Come on, Ukraine. Dude, you got like 150 guys just right there. And unless there's some sort of alliance with Finland here, I don't understand what's going on. And certainly Ukraine could be swarming in over here. And I believe Ukraine is allied with Hemland here. So It looks like Swedish Viking is just a very timid player. Could easily, I think, have taken over all of this. But again, choosing not to, and I don't know exactly why. Oh my goodness, Northern Russia coming down, somehow striking through. That could that be an example of rebelling? Territories rebelling over. People are like, you can look in the newspaper. I know I can, but there's so much to look through in the newspaper. And I'm not just looking, like a lot of times as players, we'll look for our own interests, but I'm trying to look for everyone's interests. So from time to time I will, but what I often will say is like, hey, if you can tell me, if somebody could just reach out and tell me, just tell me and I'll correct it in the next video. So most likely, let's just see if there's Northern Russian troops here. So he came down somehow. He came down probably through Finland, I would guess. Wow. Northern Russia flexing some muscles down here to support Finland. I kind of love that. Wow. And then once again, Russia just showing he's not willing to send 30 guys down here, although I think he could hold with 12 and 2 cars here to back up the northern defense. But he's just not, Russia's not willing to put pressure here on Eastern Europe. So I don't know. This may go to Finland. If this goes to Finland with Sweden already having such strong roots in Europe here, then I'm not sure what's going to happen. So let's see. Let's just go ahead and check here. We do still have Spain holding out over here. We do still have Austria-Hungary holding out, but they are sending artillery in. They want to root out the last of Austria-Hungary. I know there are several players on the map that are just at war with this little guy over here, and they're losing 5 morale, and they're not loving it. So that's about it. That's about all I wanted to cover. I do know, I really think that what happened here was there was a bit of a sort of a race to get this double iron between powers to the north, and I don't know if it was Raya or Romania, but Benaya wanted that double iron enough to really commit to a somewhat overextended position, and then really I think here, and I might be wrong, but here's what I'm thinking. I believe that Benaya thought that Romania would attack into the Ottomans, right? Because he was coming in with lots of troops, and if that had happened, then the Ottoman would have responded to both invaders, both Benaya and Romania. But from what I saw, and I could be wrong because, again, I'm not in the thick of this, but from what I saw, Romania held off, and only Benaya attacked in and was absolutely swarmed. And that the swarm that I saw was a pretty typical AI defense sort of swarm situation. You'll see the same thing happening over here to Morocco. The AI just throws everything, including the kitchen sink, at you. And it looks like Morocco will probably hold this. This is a very interesting stand over here as well. With this fort and those numbers, he should be able to hold that. So very interesting to see Morocco from way over here, making his way over and capturing territory over here, seeing Russia moving south and capturing territory over here. And of course, Spain just taking territory across the map like crazy. A lot of interesting stuff going on. But no, I wouldn't say any huge shutdowns other than, of course, Lithuania, but we knew that was going to happen. And then there's just no question that the Ottoman Empire is going to slowly be dissolved into the communities around it. Let's hope that I really would like to see Arabia here take a little initiative and spread further north. There's a lot of power down here along with that Air Force. And, he has to be concerned about these cruisers, but I don't know. I don't know why the hostility has continued here between Egypt and Arabia, but it has been fairly consistent throughout the whole game. And that's, to me, has locked Silver Star in place on the world stage where the Libby twins have been out doing big things and really probably could have used some assistance. And I mean, for crying out loud, absolutely could use those 5 cruisers somewhere else on the board. So I don't know. Sometimes the vitriol, the anger, the oppositional defiance, whatnot, takes over. So lots of cool stuff going on. I love seeing the balloons on the map. I love seeing the fighters Looks like Great Britain is starting to get some cruisers on the map. That's good. As soon as Great Britain starts churning stuff out, you're going to see some strength, because if Britain can hold on to these resources, then you're going to see a fleet unlike any other here, because Great Britain is in first place. And when those resources start flowing in, yikes is all I can say. A large fleet at this point in the game could be devastating. We've already seen Caucasus here with a big fleet. We've seen already Egypt with a fairly large fleet, and we've seen Greenland. Greenland doing good things with a small to medium-sized fleet, really. So very interesting stuff going on here, and I love it that the specialists are finally getting to ply their trades, and it's only going to get more intense as time goes on. So thanks for checking in, guys. Exciting developments here on day 14. Hang in there. Make sure and spank the like button, please. I keep on forgetting to say that, but if you like what you're seeing here, please go ahead and spank that like button. It will help us to get visibility and spread the word about our community far and wide, so that people can join us and we can dominate the universe. All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for checking in. Adios, amigo.